Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in to another week of What's for Dinner. This week's meal plan was based on ingredients I already had at home. I'm working on clearing out the freezer and pantry. Both are overflowing, so I only had to buy very few things to make these meals, which made for a really nice grocery bill. Everything is going to be simple but delicious, and hopefully this video will inspire you to get in the kitchen and to just use up what you already have and save some money by not going out to eat. So yeah, let's get on into it. Mondays are my busiest day of the week. That's when I edit my videos, and plus just trying to recover from the weekend. I like to make my simplest meal on Mondays. So I chose homemade pizza using this Bisquick baking mix. I wanted to do this pizza dough because I feel like most people have Bisquick in their pantry, and if you don't, it's a great staple because you can do so many things with it. But one thing I have never done is pizza dough, and all it is two ingredients. It's just the Bisquick and some hot water. You don't need yeast or anything like that, so it's so easy. And I'm just spraying some olive oil spray on my hands to keep that dough from sticking to me, and I'm just patting it out into the shape of a pizza, of course. And then I'm just finishing off this jar of pizza sauce. This is the same one that I used last week. It's the one that I said I wasn't too crazy about just because it was chunky, and a lot of you guys had the great recommendation to throw it in the blender to make it more smooth. So that's an option. And then to jazz it up a little bit, I'm using this garlic, ranch, and chive seasoning. And I'm really glad I did this extra little step because it really came through in the end, and I love that flavor. So I also had some opened shredded Parmesan cheese. So I just added a few sprinkles of that on first. And then I'm just going to take a few handfuls of some shredded mozzarella cheese, top that over the top, of course. I've learned that about 2 cups is about the perfect amount for a pizza. And then normally we just do plain pepperoni pizza. We're pretty basic when it comes to pizza. But I forgot that I had some sausage in the freezer, so I just thawed that out and cooked and crumbled it and decided that that would probably be really good. And of course it was. And then of course the regular pepperoni. And I just baked that at 450 for about 12 to 15 minutes. This was a great pizza crust. I wouldn't say it's my favorite or my go-to. I've definitely made better, but I would do it again. And then I'm getting kind of burnt out on salad, so I just did some fruit on the side. I have some strawberries, kiwis, and blueberries, and they look a little funky because I did something different. So on TikTok, I saw where people were putting sugar-free, cheesecake-flavored instant pudding mix over some strawberries. I could not find the cheesecake flavor anywhere, so I just got the French vanilla, and I decided to put it over just the mixture of fruits, and it turned out really good. It was more like a dessert than like a fruit cup, but we all really enjoyed it. Next up, I thawed out 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and I just diced them up into bite-sized pieces. I also think this would be really good with chicken thighs, or you could probably even do like chicken drumsticks. And I just whisked up a quick little marinade. All that's in there is some olive oil, ranch, and some Frank's red hot sauce. I also added in some pepper and just a pinch of salt and whisked that together just until it came together. And I am going to, of course, pour that over top of the chicken. I've learned too with like Ziploc bags, if you just kind of fold it backwards, it forms into a bowl and makes it stand up, and it's just mess free. I love it. So here I am just squeezing all of the air out, zipping that up, and I'm just massaging that sauce into the chicken to make sure that every piece gets coated. And I'm just going to pop that in my fridge for a few hours to marinate, or if you have your life together, you could do it overnight, of course. So these are going to be kebabs. I just have these bamboo skewers, and I read that if you put those on the grill, you need to soak those in warm water, so that's why they're back there in that pink little dish. And yeah, I'm just going to thread them onto that until all the chicken is gone. So I just threw those on the grill for about 15 minutes. Of course, that time will vary. But I drizzled this twisted ranch over the top. It's a garlic smashed buffalo sauce. I found it at Target, but I think I've seen it at Walmart as well. And it was, of course, the perfect addition to these. I love these. Y'all already know, if you've been with me for a while, I'm obsessed with anything buffalo chicken. And they were so easy. And I just served them with these broccoli and cheese veggie tots that I cooked in the air fryer and served with some ketchup. And then I also had some hummus to use up. It's this this roasted garlic one. Why I put so much on my plate, I do not know. But I also just dipped some of these pita crackers into this, and this was a bomb meal. Up next, I'm just throwing a chuck roast into the bottom of my crock pot, and I'm going to be making some Mexican shredded beef. I actually found this roast at Kroger right before the beef prices like skyrocketed, and I found it at a really discounted price, so I felt lucky to have found that. But next, I'm just going to be adding in some beef broth using this beef powder that you just add to some boiling water, and you're also going to need some tomato paste. I believe that can was like 6 ounces, and I only needed 4 ounces, so of course I'm not going to use the whole can. And then I'm just going to add in some chili powder. And if you are new to my channel, anytime I do follow a recipe, you can always find the link down below in my description box so that you can get the exact measurements if you're interested in the recipe. And then I'm also going to be adding in some cumin. Let's see, looks like I'm adding in some salt. Even though I just made this like a couple days ago, I cannot remember until I'm like watching it back. But yeah, and then I also ended up adding in some onion powder because the original recipe called for real onions, and I just don't like that. So onion powder it is, and then I just mix it together and poured it over the roast. It's a nice thick sauce. And then I'm going to pop that lid on, and I cooked mine on high for 4 hours, but you could also do low for 8 hours. And here it is after that time was up. I'm just going to whip out 2 forks, and that is how I'm going to shred mine. You could also pull out like a handheld mixer and shred it up that way. I know I do that with chicken sometimes. It might be a little messy since this is pretty saucy, but you know, just do whatever you're comfortable with. And then I found these adorable little taco stands. They're like stainless steel. I found them at Walmart, and I've been so excited to use them. This is the main reason I wanted tacos on the menu. So I am using the low-carb tortillas that I've heated up. I've topped it with some queso, Fresco cheese, and some cilantro. I have some taco sauce on the side. It's the Ortego brand, I believe that's how you say it, and some lime wedges to squeeze over the meat, and then of course just some refried beans, and these were delicious. And the next day we had quite a bit of that shredded beef left over, so I knew I wanted to use it up but like transform it to something different. I didn't know really what to do, so I just have these few ingredients, and I'm going to throw them in a Dutch oven and see what happens. I served this concoction over my homemade Mexican rice, and y'all, it was so delicious. I liked it even better than the tacos the day before, and it was definitely my favorite meal of the week. If you didn't want to serve it over rice, it would of course be just as good on its own, but I also think it would be really good in like a hoagie bun as like a Philly steak type of sandwich. And then lastly, we are just having some basic pork chops. It's been a while since we've had them. I did let those marinate in this Luminoiz steak and chop marinade. I would definitely recommend that. It's really good, and I'm just going to take those to the grill and prepare a couple easy sides.
Didn't wanna make things harder. I'm already breaking. You never guess the things I thought of, but my scars are aching. I try to make you understand. This isn't how it's meant to be. I'm not the one just trying to make things work. You always try to rock the boat. I always get us off our course, but baby, you're the undertow. I told you that I can't wait, 'cause I can't even think straight. I feel just like I'm next to you, but baby, you're a world away. Trapped in my thoughts, losing consciousness, can't wake up 'cause I'm obnoxiously missing you, and you're not doing it always.
Here's everything all tied together. I have some barbecue sauce to dip my pork chop in, and then some ketchup, of course, to drizzle over my potatoes that were perfectly tender and so flavorful. And I am obsessed with asparagus. It's definitely one of my favorite vegetables. But that is going to wrap up another week. I really hope that you guys enjoy the video. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have an amazing week.